evening, gang, good morning, good afternoon, whatever time zone it is. How are you all doing? It's great to see you back on the channel today. So, I'm going to endeavour to try and make this one a little bit shorter than the other ones. Keep your fingers crossed, but here we go. I'm going to take a look at the Tier 9 French battleship, the Alsace. So, Alsace has been in the game for a reasonable length of time. And I figured it was time we'd have a look at some TcFreer ships. We always review new ships and premium ships and all the rest of it. But sometimes it's always nice to take a look at the old guard, take a look at the stuff that you can grind for free in the game. So she sits here at Tier 9 in the French TcFreer. As you can see, a little bit of history on it. It's a 1939 design. She was never actually completed or put to sea. Designed to counter the perceived threat of the German Hate-class battleships, following on from the Richelieu class that we see in game. Variations on the design were available, and I'll go into that a little bit more in the history of the ship. So, in the game, she is at Tier 9. She has 74,700 hit points in a fully kitted out stage with the B hull. You do see a reduction down to 69,000 with the A hull, along with a couple of other reductions in terms of your AA and maneuverability. Her maximum firing range, as you can see, is 20.3 kilometers with the upgrade. You do leave 18.4 without, so you do feel a little shortchanged on the range. And she actually quite uniquely has an engine upgrade as well. There's not many ships in the game have an engine upgrade. It does boost her top speed from 31.9 to 33.6. And she has 3 quadruple turrets with 380mm guns. In terms of equipment and how I've gone with it, sacrilege, I have indeed gone with a bit of a secondary setup. So main armament mod 1, damage control system mod 1, the secondary battery mod 1, damage control system mod 2, concealment, and then auxiliary armaments mod 2. She has a speed boost. I run fighter and a reasonable heal package that actually has quite a quick reload and a fairly decent length of time, as you can see. Captain build that I've chosen to go for. This is a 19-point captain. It's a bit of a weird build, and I've no idea what was going through my head at the time of building it. However, as you'll see in the game, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And for some reason, this ain't broke for me. So, yeah. I think the only thing I'm going to do is either try and get concealment in there, but I don't think I can do, or probably go with adrenaline rush. So, level 1 skills, consumable specialist, emergency repair specialist, and preventative maintenance. I may drop that. In fact, I think I am going to drop that to allow me to probably get concealment. Grease the gears at stage 2. Long range secondaries for some reason. Basic survivability with emergency repair with fire prevention. And that's the build that I run on my Alsace. I will be clipping these in terms of cutting these out and putting them on the Bob's Discord if you want to go and if that's a little bit too fast for you. So let's go back to port and take a look at the beastie. As you can see, she's pretty unique in that she has 3 quad turrets in an ABX configuration. Her secondaries are actually, the French did get enhanced secondaries with the Commander rework. So she has 3 triple 152mm that you see here, and then 12 100mm that you see along the side here. And surprisingly, a lot of people will say, don't spec them secondary, don't spec them secondary. You know what I'll say. Do what you want as long as you have fun with it. That's the important thing. There are optimal builds, and maybe going secondary isn't optimal. I'll let my replay talk for you. Bit of an interesting fact for you about the Alsace turrets. You'll notice down the middle of them here, there's a pronounced gap between the second and third barrels here. What they actually did was they actually installed a 4-inch thick armor brake in these turrets, so that should any side of it suffer a breach, malfunction, or damage or anything like that, you still had half an active turret that could carry on, so you didn't lose the entire turret. Quite an ingenious thing at the time, and pretty interesting. Her AA, she has numerous mounts, and as you can see, she's got a 94 AA rating. So, you know, pretty handy in that aspect. But again, bear in mind that we're not really buffing that massively. Her maneuverability, 33.6 knots with the Sierra Mike's boost flag, plus you've got the boost on top of it. This is a quick ship by any count of the imagination. Rudder shift of only 16.6 seconds is actually not that bad for something so big. She's a really nice, mobile, nimble battleship. You can get away with things that you just wouldn't expect to be able to do so in this. And of course, I'm not running concealment, but 14.6 with a 20.3 kilometer range is actually not bad at all for, you know, to start with. So you may be able to put your points elsewhere. It's a reasonable one. You can get better, obviously, with the concealment expert skill, but you know, 14.6 as I've got it built, I don't think that's too bad for this. I'll take it. So let's talk a little bit of history about the Alsace, so that you guys can have a think about it. Number one, the French were only planning to build 2 of these around about the late 30s, as we said, about 1939. And there were a couple of design prototypes put forward, and in particular, there was 2 different gunnery sections. There was the 12 380mm that we see here in front of us, but there was also a 9, so 3 triple turrets of 4 or 6mm guns. Would have changed her ever so slightly, I think, always, because that's quite a big punch, and they were just coming on to effect, so quite interesting. Basically, at the time of the signing of the Second London Naval Treaty, France was kind of in a bit of an awkward position. You know, you could see that Germany was really ramping things up, and obviously with the potential threat of these H-class battleships with these big guns, you know, the Richelieu class, the Dunkirk class, they just weren't going to stand up to this kind of thing. So they needed a response, because this is where you get into kind of like arms races and things like this. And with the end of the Washington Treaty in 1922, they weren't as limited as they were previously. So, you know, basically off they went. Let's see what we can do. They actually decided they were going to do 2, but then they discussed doing 4, because when they came to name the ships, there was the Alsace herself. There was then potentially the Normandy, the Flandre, which we have in game, and then there was the Bourgogne, which we also have in game. The Normandy we have as a tier 6, obviously, and a different class of ship. But they were going to reuse that name and have 4 Alsace, but it was only a discussion, so it was kind of not kind of so interesting. The keel for the first Alsace was actually laid in the large dry dock at Saint-Nazaire. Saint-Nazaire, as you were, is the location of Operation Chariot, where the HMS Campbelltown breached the dry dock wall, exploded a few hours later, to actually deny Germany being able to use that dock for the Tirpitz or the Bismarck. So what about the specs of the ship in real life? What were they thinking of putting onto us? So obviously these are kind of woolly because they only got as far as basic design phases with her. They were looking at potentially around about 40,000 long tons, up to about 44.8 thousand long tons, depending. Around about 827 foot long, so you know, big old hectares these things. A beam of 35 meters, 114.10 inches, and obviously 130,000 shaft horsepower to give it that top speed. Again, various different armaments were discussed, but none were concrete. The closest it came to the concrete is the 12 gun version that you see in game with us today. So, you know, that's a bit of a quick look through the Alsace. A really nice looking ship in terms of her lines. She's fun, she's fast. You can have a lot of fun with it. And as you'll see in the replay as well, she does all right. When you're not top tier, you do have to play her a little bit more carefully. But when you are top tier and you can kind of be a bit bullish, you can pull off some rather cool things. So stick with me. We're going to fly into the replay and let's see what she can do. Cheers, guys, and see you there. Okay, so first off, a big thank you to Ship for Brains from Warbots WB. Those of you who watch the channel will know that I've been doing a bit of mercenary clan wars for the boys from Warbots, having a great time, learnt a great deal from them as well, and it's been really, really good. So I'm in division with him. We are on the north map in domination. And you see, we're a top tier game, tier 9 to 7. There's only a couple of tier 9s on every team, on both teams. A Minnesota, myself in the Alsace, and Brain in the Mogador versus a Freddy, Musashi, and a Fletcher. We're in front of the Charlie Cap. I've got Chaos's theme tune going on, which is why I've got a little bit of a wobble going on with the cam. And one of the things I like to do on North when I start in this cap and I'm in this kind of ship is I like to be a little bit aggressive down this 9 line. A lot of people seem to head towards the bottom of the 9 line and kind of hold and try and get some snipey shots and things like that. To hell with that. Put down, crack on. We're going straight up. We're going straight up there. As you can see, we have already gone past the 33.6 knots. We're on 35.5 and climbing with the boost engaged. About a 3-minute boost in total on this ship without the any specific modules, etc. I have got HE loaded. This was a mistake, however, it's a mistake that pays off quite nicely, as the first ship we're going to actually engage very shortly is the Schooner. So that's the tier 7 pan-European destroyer. We try and get a couple of sneaky shots forward, but unfortunately he's going way too fast and we don't have enough angle to actually be able to drop them. So at this point I've reloaded my AP, I'm pushing forward into the gap. Ship has taken a position behind the island, as you would expect, in the Charlie Cap. Quite a normal position for a destroyer to take when they're trying to take that cap. Our Jarvis is a little bit caught out in the open, but Ship and the Jarvis have taken that cap. We are now spotted by the Sims. The smoke screen from the Jarvis does save us from being spotted for too long, but we're still going to carry on and make our way forward. Now, I do make a bit of a boo-boo. As you can see, I'm heading for the island at 36 knots, and I'm not paying any attention at all to the fact that I'm heading straight for that island. I'm looking for the ships coming around that corner. There was a Carluccio and a main spotted. Oh, come on, TC, pay attention. Anytime, pay attention. I'm not going to pay any attention, but secondaries open up on the schooner at 7.3. Main batteries round. We launch. Get a nice couple of overpens, 2800 damage, and a few secondary hits, chipping away a little bit here, a little bit there. More fire for effect than anything else. The warning is going off, and at some point I'm going to notice, hit the brakes, and try and avoid all of this. Ship's bailed out at the cap. There's no need for him to be here. So I've got a burn going on. Remember, 27 seconds of fire isn't too bad, and you can repair. Mine the main batteries, and we'll bag ourselves first blood. We've sunk an allied battleship. So that's our first kill of the game. First blood, and as the boss says, off to a great start. Engine boost deactivated. The Sims comes around the corner. Secondaries open up. We do get a couple of hits. There we go, and a decap. And the New Orleans finishes the Sims. That's lovely. I'm looking for shots on the Mayoko, but as you can see, he's 33 kilometers away. No luck. The Freddy is 25 away. Still no joy. So, gonna push forward. We're looking for wherever the Carluccio is, and it's at this point where he tickles the cap. And clearly that is a case of, yes sir, I'm in the cap. So, one thing to bear in mind is that although a fighter plane cannot spot, when you open fire on a fighter plane, you can be spotted by other ships because you break your detection. So, although you can't spot with them per se as per previously in World of Warships, you can still do a little bit. A couple of secondary hits there gives us another reset. And we're just going to push around the corner now. The mains is in the cap as well there. Ship is coming flying past us, with the Jarvis in hot pursuit. I'm going to push up in support of him, and like I said, not stopping, making this move forward. Far too often you'll find people will slow and camp and, oh, I can't push, there's too much down there. A light ship is pinging there, he's telling the Nelson, pull into the cap, make that turn into the cap. We're going to push the corner. So, my heel's ready, my repair party is ready, my speed boost is about to come back on. I've got AP loaded. There's a Carlucci just around the corner who is perfectly broadside and totally unaware that we're about to pop here. I put the boost on to miss his shots, launch all the shells, and bang, 4 penetrations, 2 overpens, 2 citadels. A really big chunk of damage off that tier 7 battleship. Fires from the secondaries. Flicking round the corner to go bow on to try and minimise any damage coming in from him. Guns now, main battery is now looking for the mains. They'll soon be loaded, so we've still got speed boost on as well, so we're a little bit harder to hit. Trying to get the lead on the top belt of the mains. Again, because it is a Hipper ship, a Hipper class cruiser, you do have to be careful of that. We don't get the perfect shot, but 1 pen and 5 overs does give us a nice amount of damage. I turn back in now. There's a Surrey in the middle who's going to pepper us. We get some more fires, we get some more secondaries. There goes the Carlucci, and there's the Freddy. Now the Freddy's just fired. His main battery isn't looking at us per se, so we're quite safe to make this turn. I'm keeping my mains again, looking for that top armor belt. Pull the trigger. Nice 9k, 2 pens, 1 over, 3 ricochets now. I've got an island in front of me, but as you can see by the very tight rudder turn that we mentioned before, we're able to just miss this island, back off on the speed, not beach on the island, bring the nose back out of mine because the Freddy has given us broad, and I want to bring all 12 guns to bear. Wait for the guns to aim. Got the perfect broadside at the top belt. And there we go, 8 penetrations, 27,000 damage in 1 salvo. Secondary still racking up. The Nelson, awesome dude there. Great username. Finishes off the Freddy. We've repaired our fire. We've got 20 seconds to wait for our heal. We've still got a bit of speed boost. Obviously, we're still spotted. But, you know, let's just keep on trucking. It kind of didn't dawn on me till probably now, and looking back in hindsight, because of the 14-kilometer concealment, I'm actually spotted by the Surrey in the middle. Shots in the air towards the mains. Again, unfortunately, 2 overpens, but we did get some resets on the cap there. Again, just letting the secondaries fire away as we come around the corner, not silencing them. Might as well, it's, you know, might be something, it might be nothing. Every little helps, in the words of Tesco's. Main battery is almost reloaded. As you can see, we've got a very nice reload on here. We just set them nicely. There we go. 5 overpens again, 5,950 damage, and 2 more cap resets. We're up to 14 cap resets. Not a bad do so far, and 115,000 damage. We're pushing forward. Probably shouldn't have bothered repairing that fire, but I am looking for shots on the Surrey there. Unfortunately, the Surrey goes dark. Ship is asking the New Orleans there to come in and deal with the mains. Now, I take a couple of blind shots. The mains is at 3.4k now. And as you saw, our New Orleans is pretty healthy. So I kind of want to take some shots, but my thinking is actually not really worth it. Leave it to him. He's dropping, he's on fire. Yeah, not a problem there. The New Orleans has got this. So then we start looking towards the middle where the other ships are. As you can see on the mini-map, there's a Maikoko, there's a sign-up, there's the Shiriatsu here that we're going to take a shot at with the main bats. There's a Surrey. We do land a couple of shells on the Shiriatsu there and get a nice 2300 damage. Obviously, destroyer 2300 damage is actually quite decent. I'm thinking about looking towards the Mayoko, but I decided I'm going to pop the heel instead. We do see the sign up, and he is beautifully broadside for us. However, there is just enough of an angle, and he's moving forward, and our reload is a couple of seconds late, that we don't actually manage to land some big broadsides. Shells out. Ideally, we look for some big damage, but one penetration, just thought 3.9k damage this time. So at this point, battle goes a bit quiet. We're not looking too bad. There's 5 of us left versus 5 of the opposition as well. Donald jumped there in our Mayhem, takes out the Musashi with his torpedoes. So GG, well done, Donald. And I'm going to push around and try and get a jump on this Surrey. I'm spotted. The Surrey's already there. Main battery is looking for him. He's angled away, and we get some more shells into him. 2 pens, 2 overpens. Rear turret into play as well. We've got another 2 pens and 1 overpen. We've missed his torpedo because we were a little bit quicker than he expected. Turn to bring the bow on. He burns us and repair it instantly, which is probably not the best idea, but I figured why not. I've got a quick reload on the damage control party. Let's just see what happens. Waiting for these main batteries to reload. As you can see, they're about 30 seconds to reload. And we're now shooting at a very narrow target here on the Surrey. So it's basically a case of whatever we can get, let's get. The Surrey has popped his heel, and we are in a bit of a tail chase here. There goes our fighter. There's another 1,000 damage by the Surrey. He's racking it up with his 203s. So let's just keep peppering him. We've got some more shots going into him there. Another 3.5k, just nice and slow chunk damage coming off him here. Ideally, we're looking for some big quick kills, but we get what we can do. Nice big penetration there for 4.3k, and luckily the Surrey has started to turn full on. He's at 4.3k. Some shots coming from ship. We hold just a little bit while he makes the turn. Gunga goes ream, shots out, and finally we get a Citadel that sinks him. Our second kill of the game. We're up to 157k. We're on fire for another 10 seconds. I do make a bit of a boo-boo here, and I do smack the repair button with just 6 seconds to go. Guys, don't do that. Do not do that. I made that choice to do that because I'm figuring I've got a Shiriatsu, I've got the Sin up there, I've got the Fletcher over there. Kind of a little bit concerned. Looking for shots on the sign-up. I catch no joy. My secondaries start popping off onto the Fletcher. The Fletcher unfortunately takes out Donald. Donald does say hello to us in chat. He's done a good amount of damage to the Fletcher. He's got it down to 340 HP. So we're going to have a quick snapshot. Boom, boom. 8 shell, all 12 barrels. And that Fletcher is out. So thank you very much, Donald. Well done, mate. Great work getting that ship down to 340 HP. He does say hello to us in chat, but I'm afraid my head's in the game. I don't respond. I do apologise for being so rude, for being rude and not actually responding to you, Donald. But hey, you've got to mention a YouTube video, buddy. So again, bit of a quiet now. As you can see, the game has gone down to Division A for the red team, and Division B, myself and Ship, and we're the last ones alive. The Sinop has come back to face myself. He's giving us a broadside, but he is turning in. No, no Citadel. 1 pen, 2 overs, 3.5k of damage. But we're going to keep our bow on. We're going to keep him entertained, give Ship chance to come round the back and start to do some more damage to this sign-up. The Sinop puts his bow towards us, and just as Ship comes round the corner and starts to put some fire into the Sinop, keep an eye on Cap Circle B, because any minute we're going to find out where that Shiriatsu is. Now, I'm not bothered about being spotted, that's it. There's the high caliber and the Confederate. 182,000 damage so far in the Alsace. Keeping the bow on. 3.5k, it's not a great bow, but you know, we'll do what we can do. However, B is being capped. I panic a little bit here. I'll look over to B, it's like I'm broadside to a destroyer in a cap. There's torpedoes coming. Get the bow round. Bingo. Shiriatsu spotted. He's coming to a stop. I aim slightly further back to try and accommodate for him reversing. 2 pens. That's it. There's our 4th kill. And you'll notice our 16th defended ribbon. So we're on 68 main batteries, 128 secondaries, 4 ships sunk, 16. There's Donald in chat saying hello. Hey Donald. 3 citadels, 5 fires, 5 planes, 2 incaps, 1 spotted. First blood, high caliber Confederate, and can we add the Kraken to our haul? Oh, he's broadside. Bada bum, bada bing. So, there we go. Pretty good game in the Alsace, I think. I think you'd agree. Post-game stats are going to be following up for you as previously, so please do feel to pause and do all of that. As you can see, as you'll see, we did 223k with a bit of change over the top. 475,449 credits, 12,060 XP, 3,166 free XP, a plethora of awards there: the Confederate, the Dreadnought, the High Caliber, the First Blood, the Quacken. You know, just a few other spatterings here, there, and everywhere. So a really good game in the Alsace. I do recommend the French Battleship line myself. I think it's a great, fun line to grind up. The ships, once you get to the Normandy, are fast. The guns are nice and punchy, and you normally get quite a decent number. You know, they're forgiving to play. And there's some of the most fun line to play, starting from Normandy and going all the way up to the Republic. Anyway, guys, folks, this has been my look at the Alsace. If you did like the video, I'd really appreciate it if you wanted to subscribe to the channel, give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Any comments below, please do feel free to do so. And on the day I'm recording this, tomorrow is the new patch. So fingers crossed that all goes well. Have a great evening, be safe, and remember, in a world where you can be anything, just be kind, guys. See you later.